Hello, friends and faithful readers out there. My name is Robert Blanchard, and I am going to take advantage of this beautiful day and record a video outside. Yes, you can see, if you can see behind me, the lawn does need to be mowed, so don't bother bringing that up. I already know. Um, an early thank you, by the way. No, I'm sorry. An early apology if I'm under the weather. It feels like I start every video with an apology. um, I apologize if I look and sound a little bit under the weather. I'm recovering from strep throat, so hopefully you guys will bear with me and get this video out of the way. I think today I'm going to talk about the book itself, The Roar of a Dragon, that I wrote and will be out by the end of the year. Um, Published by Rowanvale Books, by the way. The book itself is a young adult fantasy. It's about a character named Aiden, who is a teenage farmer. He's alone on the farm because his father had just recently passed away, and his uncle had passed away a month after him. So Aiden is alone on this farm, really for the first time, although he and his father were sort of isolated anyways. So yeah, for the first time, he's having to do all the duties by himself. This isn't actually in the book, but I did write it in one of the earlier versions. Aiden actually had to bury his father by himself in the winter. His father died while he was holding Aiden. He suddenly became very sick. So yeah, that was very emotional actually when I wrote that. I'm not gonna lie, I had tears in my eyes. So maybe that'll show up in a short story or something. I don't know. But anyway, Aiden is alone on this farm and he is doing the work himself. But he dreams of becoming a knight. It has always been his dream, and his father was kind of, didn't really discourage him so much as say, well, farmers don't generally become knights. So, but while Aiden was doing that stuff on the farm, it kind of got pushed to the back burner because he had to focus on feeding himself, and he's not a very good farmer. Excuse me. So yeah, he has this dream, and he has wooden dummies and wooden swords and stuff set up in his barn. He has an area set aside where he can practice and things like that. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of sort of stole that concept from Dragonheart 2. So yeah, that's where that came from. So Aiden is lonely. He's isolated. He has trouble dealing with people because of this. He and his father didn't really interact with people very much anyway. But one day his opportunity just sort of falls in his lap. 3 knights are on their way back from the border patrol, and they're drunk. And this one knight points out Aiden all by himself in the field, and the 3 knights decide that they're going to mess around with him. So basically what happens, without going into too much detail, is this knight tries to bully Aiden around. But Aiden's got kind of a temper a little bit, not unlike myself. So Aiden is trying to obey, but he's being defiant also. So the knight kind of shoves him in the dirt and tells him his nose better stay in the dirt until he leaves. But Aiden is on his feet before the knight gets back on the horse. So the knight takes this as insubordination or whatever, and he comes back and he decides that he's going to hurt this kid because he's defying him. But Aiden defends himself with a gardening hoe. So, this knight, by the name, the knight's name is Norvin. The bully knight, as I refer to him sometimes. Sorry if you can hear the motorcycles and stuff going in the background. I live in Lake George, and Americade is right around the corner, so probably going to be hearing a lot of motorcycles. Um, so yeah, Norvin decides to push this issue a little bit further. So he actually almost attacks Aiden. I don't want to say he tried to kill him. I didn't want to push that. That's actually originally what it was. Norvin tried to mortally wound Aiden, but I thought, that's going a little bit too far. Even if he's drunk, I went back to, he just tried to. He hit him with the. He does hit him with his armored forearm, and Aiden goes down. But he also tries to hit him with the hilt of his sword, and Aiden dodges and trips him with the garden hoe. So that gets his attention, and this little melee ensues. And of course, Norvin is drunk, so he's a little bit slower. His reflexes aren't quite as good. And, to be fair, Norvin isn't the greatest knight anyways. He kind of gets there through manipulation and bullying and, whatever he can use as sad puppy dog eyes that I wrote in the book. Thank God the strep throat is not contagious over video or audio, so you guys are all safe. Yeah, so Aiden trips up Norvin, and it goes on for a little bit longer, but Norvin finally gets Aiden down and shoves his face in dirt, and he's on the verge of just about smothering him. But this experience is more embarrassing for Aiden than anything else, as bullying usually is. It's not always about pain, it's about embarrassment, and that's what Norvin's going for here. He's trying to show this young farmer who's in charge. So yeah, but suddenly Aiden is saved out of nowhere. It turns out to be the general of the White Army of Delmar, as it is called. His name is Sir Garridan. And Garridan actually has been watching this for some time, this little altercation between Norvin and Aiden. But he was about to step in, but he kind of, when he sees Aiden start to defend himself, he actually sits back and watches a little bit, and he's impressed by the young man's raw skill. So Garridan drives Norvin away, and so Garridan meets Aiden, or Aiden meets Garridan, whatever, and Garridan kind of takes Aiden under his wing. He sees that this kid has fighting spirit, and clearly he's been training in a barn. As Garridan tells Aiden, you'd be surprised how many soldiers start out that way. It's not unlike, modern life right now. Kids, play with toy guns and stuff, and they pretend to be in the army and stuff like that. And, eventually they want to go in the army sometimes. It happens that way. So yeah, it's not that different in that world. So Garridan starts to train Aiden. Only a couple months later, Delmar is about to be invaded by a horde of barbarians, and Aiden wonders why this is such a big deal, because Delmar has a massive army, but Garridan tells him most of the army isn't at the castle. They're split at different ends of the country, taking care of other battles that are about to spill across the border. So the king has summoned all able-bodied men to the castle. So Aiden is one of those able-bodied men. Aiden's only, I think, 17 at this point in time. So this is, he's nervous as hell. He's scared, as anybody would be. Garridan brings him to the castle where everyone's getting ready. And they meet. Actually, it's not the first time that Aiden meets Derek. It's the first time in the story, but not the first time in his life. He actually met Derek, who was another soldier in the White Army, through another incident. One of their neighbors, Aiden's neighbors, their house caught fire, and he and his father tried to help this lady out. It didn't work out, but Derek was sent to get a report the next day. But Derek is absolutely one of my favorite characters, and the general consensus on him to people that have read so far is do not kill off Derek. Derek he's a big guy, he's a strong guy, but he's happy-go-lucky. He jokes around a lot. And basically, what Derek is an outlet for my warped sense of humor, as anyone that knows me watching will attest to. Uh, it's really funny because I'd be writing a scene and I'd get stuck, and I'd be stuck on it for a while, you know. But Derek would be in the scene, and I just think of something funny for him to say, and all of a sudden, the scene's back going again. I'm just writing like nothing ever happened. So it's really funny the way Derek has impacted my writing. I love him as a character. Yeah, he's a funny guy, and he and Aiden have this nice banter where, you know, they joke around with each other, and Aiden just kind of gives it back. I think it's really, I mean, Aiden relates to Garrison a little bit, but I think Derek is really the first one he kind of latches onto because closer to his age, and Derek just makes him feel really relaxed, you know, so he can joke around or whatever. So yeah, they go into the battle, and it's really this ragtag group of you know, soldiers fighting against a horde of bloodthirsty barbarians. So they have this battle, and Aiden is a central factor, of course. You know, both sides sustain heavy casualties, but Delmar comes out on top. Aiden is sent to meet the king, and you know, with Garrett and Derek, and you know, the king praises all three of them for their efforts and thanks them for saving him, and Aiden is taken into the army. You know, yeah, obviously I'm not gonna. This is only the first few chapters, so I'm not giving away a whole lot here. So yeah, Aiden is taken in as a soldier, and you know, I'm not going to give away too much detail on the next few chapters, but you know, Aiden rises pretty fast through the White Army, up until the point where they talk about making him a knight. He'd be the youngest knight in Delmar's history. So yeah, he's, you know, again, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but he's about to achieve that dream that he's always been looking for, and it gets snatched away from under him. And again, without going into too much detail, he winds up 3,000 years in the future, with these mystical powers that he can't control, and watched over by a dragon whom he saved earlier. The dragon is now full grown, of course, 3,000 years later. So Aiden's appearance has drastically changed. He looks more like a ghost than he does, you know, a human being. So yeah, that's where the story is right now, and the basic gist. The rest of the story is Aiden has to go back to his own time and decide whether he's going to save Delmar, because he's feeling betrayed. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, hopefully the book will be ready by the end of the year. Right now, people are actually voting on my website. It's BlanchardRobert72.wix.com/otherworlds. People are voting to choose the font that will be on the book cover. So that's kind of exciting. I'm looking forward to that. So thank you to everyone who's voting. Thank you to everyone who watched last week's video. And hopefully you guys will watch this one. I don't think I have anything else. I'm trying to think. I think that's all I really wanted to do was go through the book and the first couple characters. I didn't really talk about Garrison very much. Garrison kind of takes over for Aiden's father where he left off, and really becomes Aiden's father figure. And Aiden really looks up to him and respects him. And Garrison is a man of honor, a straight up knight. You know, his duty is to the army first and nothing else. So yeah, he's an important person in Aiden's life, giving him, both him and Derek, giving him that family that Aiden's been lacking for so long. Derek is kind of like the brother that Aiden never had. So yeah, that's where that's at. My phone just went off. Someone's trying to get a hold of me. Yeah. Yeah, that's where we're at. I think you've met most of the central characters so far. If you want, you can read a sample on the very same website I mentioned earlier. There's a sample of it up. You can visit my YouTube pages. My not YouTube. My Facebook pages. The Roar of a Dragon, and my author page, Robert Blanchard. Feel free to leave comments or whatever you want to leave. I appreciate the input as always. I think that's it. I don't know what I'll talk about next time. Maybe more of the story, maybe more of the characters. I think from now on, my granddaughter is looking at me through the window, very curious right now. Now she's smiling at me. She's wondering what I'm doing out here, talking to myself. Yeah, so I think in the next few shows I'll talk about more of the characters, and I'll give some more progress on the book. Yeah, so that'll be the plan. Thank you everyone for watching, and keep on reading. Keep on supporting. I appreciate all of your support, and I love all you guys, and I will catch you later.